There's a new era brewing in the Windy City, and it's been led by a name that's got a lot of people in the NFL world buzzing: Ben Johnson. The Chicago Bears made waves this offseason by pulling Johnson away from the Detroit Lions to take over as their new head coach. And it's not just your average coaching hire. This could be the spark that finally ignites the kind of rebuild Chicago fans have been dreaming about for years. ESPN's Seth Walder went as far as calling it the most important move of the Bears' entire offseason. And honestly, he might be right. Ben Johnson isn't just a guy who fell into a good situation in Detroit. He's someone who actually helped shape it. When he first started calling plays for the Lions, no one was talking about Detroit as a powerhouse. Offense. In fact, most people were still laughing at the idea that the Lions could be relevant again. But then, slowly and methodically, Johnson turned that offense into one of the most dangerous units in the entire league. Sure, they've got talent now. Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Laporta. But when he took over, this wasn't a group people were afraid of. He helped build it. He helped shape Jared Goff back into a legit starting quarterback. And not just serviceable, but performing at a level even higher than what he showed during his prime Rams days. And that's not just on Goff. That's coaching. That's vision. That's Ben Johnson. So when Chicago landed him, that wasn't just a change in the staff. That was a statement, a shot across the bow to the rest of the NFC North. The Bears are done waiting around. They're done with mediocrity. And they're handing the keys to someone who's proven he can take a broken down offense and rebuild it into a finely tuned machine. But what makes this even more exciting is that Johnson isn't just your typical new school, flashy play caller. He brings a rare blend of brains and grit. He believes in analytics. He's aggressive on fourth downs. He's willing to take risks. But at the same time, players talk about how demanding he is, how locked in he is, how he doesn't let things slide. And it's not just him. He brought in guys like Eric Bieniemy and Antoine Randall L to round out a coaching staff that's got both edge and experience. This isn't just a guy with a nice scheme. This is someone who knows how to lead a room. Now, of course, there's always an element of the unknown when a coordinator takes that leap to head coach. We've seen geniuses on the whiteboard crash and burn when they have to run an entire locker room. But if you're betting on upside, Ben Johnson might have the highest ceiling of any first-year head coach in the league this season. He's seen the highs and the lows. He's been fired. He's been demoted. He's had to start over in a bottom-tier job and grind his way back up. That kind of journey builds perspective. It builds leadership. This isn't someone who was handed a perfect team. This is someone who built something out of chaos, and now he's trying to do it again in Chicago. And let's be real for a second. Even if Ben Johnson isn't perfect, the bar isn't exactly set high. If he ends up being worse than Matt Eberflus, then something supernatural is happening in Chicago. We're talking about a head coach who had all the time in the world to get it right and couldn't get the team to play consistently. So even if Johnson is just average in year one, that's already an upgrade. And if he's as good as advertised, then the Bears might finally be onto something that lasts longer than a hot streak in November. Now, part of why people are so excited about Johnson isn't just about his past. It's about how this team is built right now. He's walking into a situation where he doesn't need to perform miracles overnight. There's real talent on this roster. Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick, is a quarterback with serious potential. Rome Odunze gives them a true threat in the passing game. DeAndre Swift in the backfield, DJ Moore is a weapon out wide. Cole Kmet at tight end, the pieces are there. This isn't a bare cupboard. It's a roster ready to be molded. And with Johnson calling the shots, there's hope that these guys will finally be put in position to thrive. But of course, there's still some unanswered questions, and they matter. One of them is the offensive line. If the front five can't hold up, then even the best play caller in the world is going to struggle. The Bears know this, and they've made moves to strengthen that group. But it's still a wait-and-see situation. Darnell Wright looks like a long-term piece, but guys like Braxton Jones and Isaiah Trapillo still have to prove they can be more than just serviceable. And if one of them doesn't win the job outright, there's a scenario where Jones becomes trade bait, with teams like the Bucs needing help on the line due to injuries, like missing Tristan Wirfs early in the season. The Bears could get calls. But the return would have to be worth it. You're not giving away a decent starting caliber tackle unless the draft compensation makes sense, especially if he's in the final year of his contract. Now, speaking of the draft, there's real excitement about this rookie class. And if you had to pick just 3 names to really hit from this group, the conversation gets interesting. Isaiah Trapilo has to be one of them, just based on the importance of the position. If he turns out to be a legit starting left tackle, that's a home run. Then there's Kieran Amigaji, who has versatility and raw tools, and if he can transition inside, he could solve some of those interior depth issues too. And of course, you look at guys like Callan King or Luther Burden, who bring explosive upside at skill positions and could elevate the unit as a whole. But for now, it's all projection. We're waiting to see who pops during camp and preseason. Now, let's shift to something fans always want to know. Will the Bears finally sweep the Packers? Look, it's been a rough decade plus for Chicago in that rivalry. Green Bay has dominated, but the Bears are getting closer. They played the Packers tight last season and probably should have walked away with a win in at least one of those games. The talent gap isn't massive anymore. And now with Ben Johnson at the helm, you've got to think the coaching battle might start to shift too. Realistically, a split is more likely. But this is one of those seasons where a sweep doesn't feel impossible. The vibes are just different now. As for how far this team can really go, that depends on how you define ceiling and floor. The floor. If things go wrong, if the young players don't hit, if the schedule proves too tough, maybe 6 wins. But that's already an improvement over last year, and that's without assuming major injuries. Now the ceiling. It might be higher than some people want to admit. If the coaching clicks, if Caleb Williams is ready faster than expected, and if the defense finds consistency, you could be looking at 12 or 13 wins. That's the absolute best case scenario, sure. But it's not fantasy. It's a high variance team. They could win the NFC North. They could finish last. But for the first time in a long time, the arrow feels like it's pointing up. And look, this schedule is not doing them any favors. It's a tough slate, especially early. A lot of one-score games are likely coming, and we all know how those flip on small decisions. Coaching, clock management, execution on third downs. That's where Johnson's influence might really show up. He's aggressive, he believes, in going for it, and that can help you steal a few games over the course of a season. If he brings that same fourth down confidence and calculated risk-taking to Chicago, maybe the Bears finally start to win the tight ones. There's also a real question about the pass rush and whether the Bears will go hunting for an edge rusher before the trade deadline. Names like Bradley Chubb have already started floating around. If Miami underperforms, could he be on the move? He missed time last season but had double-digit sacks the year before and would absolutely fit the mold of a mid-season reinforcement. There's also the possibility of someone like Kayvon Thibodeau if things fall apart in New York. It sounds crazy, but hey, stranger things have happened at the deadline. These are the kinds of players who could be gettable, depending on how desperate a team is for draft picks or how far out of contention they fall. The Bears have the cap space and flexibility to make a move if the moment's right. On the other side of the ball, the depth at offensive line remains a mild concern. It's not a disaster, but it's not ideal either. Tackle depth looks decent, with Wright as a starter and guys like Braxton Jones potentially serving as one of the best backups in the league. But the interior? That's where things get murkier. Jonah Jackson should solidify left guard, and the center position looks stronger than it has in years. But behind them, you've got question marks. Ryan Bates has a lingering shoulder issue. Doug Kramer is kind of a center-only guy. Luke Newman is a 6th-round flyer. If one of those starters goes down, we'll see how much faith they really have in their depth. It might not be panic mode, but it's something to watch, especially during preseason when these backups start getting real reps. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Chicago Bears may be on the brink of a significant offseason move that has fans buzzing with excitement. Rumors have been swirling that Alan Lazard, a talented wide receiver known for his reliable hands and physical style of play, could be joining the Bears as a free agent. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the mere possibility has ignited hope among the Bears faithful, who are eager to see their team improve its offensive weapons. Lazard, who has built a reputation as a dependable target and red zone threat, would bring much needed depth and experience to a Bears receiving core looking to make a leap. Over the past few seasons, Lazard has impressed with his ability to create separation and make clutch catches, qualities that any team would covet heading into a competitive NFL season. His presence could complement Chicago's existing playmakers and provide quarterback Justin Fields with another reliable option downfield. The buzz surrounding Lazard's potential signing seems to be more than just idle chatter. Sources close to the negotiations suggest the Bears are seriously exploring ways to bolster their receiving unit, and Lazard fits the mold perfectly. Known for his strong work ethic and team-first mentality, Lazard would likely thrive in a Bears offense that is still evolving but hungry for more explosive playmakers. Chicago fans have long been clamoring for upgrades at wide receiver, and Lazard's addition would be seen as a step in the right direction. The team's previous offseason moves showed a commitment to building around Fields, and adding Lazard could signal that the front office remains determined to surround their young quarterback with the talent he needs to succeed. Of course, as with all rumors during the free agency frenzy, nothing is guaranteed. The NFL offseason is always unpredictable, with teams constantly weighing options and negotiating contracts behind the scenes. But if the whispers prove true, Bears fans may soon have another exciting weapon to cheer for, sparking optimism for the upcoming campaign. In the meantime, the speculation will only grow louder as the free agency period progresses. Bears supporters should keep an eye out for official announcements, but the prospect of Allen Lazard donning the navy and orange jersey is already enough to stir up plenty of excitement. Could this be the move that helps turn the Bears offense into a more dynamic and threatening unit? Only time will tell, but the possibility alone has already put the Windy City on alert. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.